Hello. Hello. Good evening. And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm free.
welcome to week 6 of the live interactive session of Neural Science for Engineers. The course instructor is Professor Vikas V from Nimhans, Bangalore. I am the PMR of teaching assistant Vikas Pandey from IIT Jodhpur. This is a brief about me, including the YouTube link. Now, uh, since we left some questions from the previous class, so first we will continue those questions, then we'll move on to this week's questions. Fine.
Yes, sir.
In the meantime, you can unmute and answer for the questions, right? Okay, so let's move with our questions. I think we covered these questions, right? Till 20 or something we covered, no?
Around that spinal cord, we stopped somewhere.
Yeah, around the spinal cord we stopped. Mm. Yeah, I think from here we can start, right? Okay. So let's start with our question. Which part of the brainstem is almost indistinguishable from the spinal cord? Is it pons, midbrain, medulla, or cerebellum? Yes. You can unmute and answer.
I think it is medulla, sir.
Medulla. Okay. Which is uh, the lower part, like it continues.
Yes,
From
sir.
medulla itself, it continues. Okay. Indicating a seamless continuation between the two structures. How many segments are there in the spinal cord?
Total 31, sir.
31. And do you remember the segmentation?
It is first one is called thoracic,
Thoracic. Okay.
then dorsum, then lower back.
Hmm.
Dorsum means chest,
Just dorsal, yeah.
then cervix,
Cervix.
thoracic and cervix and thoracic. I think. Then
Okay.
finally lower back.
Lower
And
back,
last
yeah.
one is there.
Yeah,
I
only
forgot.
one. That is near the end of our
End of
spinal
the
cord. Yeah, where it
spinal.
ends the
Right.
last. Yeah. Uh,
So
total 31, right?
31. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So there are total 31. Uh,
Sacral
s-
lumbar. Sorry,
yeah,
lumbar.
yeah,
Say names are
quite
cervical,
complex
thoracic.
names.
I
Yeah,
could lumbar, sacral, and
yeah,
coccygeal or something.
quite complex names.
Yes, sir.
I think they are keeping the names based on some very
Latin name.
Latin words and this. That's why, like most of the terms have originated during that time when
Yeah, yes, sir.
Latin was the common language. That
But
might be the
if
reason.
you learn, maybe this word have some meaning. Then they will join two
Yeah,
words, so
then
they
it
will
will be
get
easy.
another word.
Yeah, then it will be easy for us. Like since we don't know the language itself, that's why
Yes, sir.
that is causing the problem for us. Yeah. So let's move to our next question.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is, what does
Anterior
the
part
end
of spinal
of this
cord of
family deal
primary
with?
brain
Sensory, motor, both sensory and motor function, or proprioception? Proprioception.
above sensory, below motor. Like that, he told that lecture.
Mhm.
Then
Then what will be the correct answer? Uh,
mostly anterior
it's
means down, no sir. And
remember anterior
posterior
means, yeah, anterior is up,
up,
outside or upper,
outside. Then sensory, sir.
sensory only. It's
No
motor
motor.
function. Yeah,
Anterior means
obvious.
in, sir. Actually, in.
Yeah, in
Exterior means
anterior,
out.
exterior, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
there it was different.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's,
okay, okay,
yeah,
sir. Motor function. I understand that.
yeah. It's the terms are quite confusing.
Mm.
So just understand that at least one part goes for this sensory, other is for motor. This
Yeah,
we have to know. Like
yeah. Sensories like your cards will play. No, in that like that, so many things are there.
yes,
Cards like that. I remember that picture. That is
yeah,
sensory.
sensory, yes.
Motor down.
So
D.
let's
Motor
move to the
function.
next question. Which tract carries information from brain to the spine? Brain to spine, and is responsible for the muscle movement. Anterior cortex, corticospinal tract, lateral corticospinal tract, spinocerebral tract, or vestibulospinal tract.
Vestibulospinal tract for balance, sir. Actually,
Mhm.
so that is not created with muscle movement. Then anterior or lateral, which one must be anterior? Okay.
It's
Oh,
lateral. Yeah.
because
So,
anterior last time
yeah,
we said. Okay, that is
anterior.
okay.
Yeah, that words
Lateral,
like
lateral
yeah, lateral. Lateral
mm,
means sidewards.
side. Okay,
Side. Yeah. The lateral corticospinal tract carries most fibers that transmit motor
okay.
commands. So, if we think also like it's going like that, then it will branch out
Lateral
like
means away from the center, sir, or
and away
coming
from
to
the
center.
center, away from the center. Like
Okay,
if there is track, so
okay,
it will go like
uh,
when we see our body, something in parallel to our uh,
okay.
chest in the back, you can say
Move
that
away
is
from the center.
moving away from the center. Yes.
Then lateral opposite is anterior. No, okay, okay. We'll go
Yeah,
next.
yeah, okay, yeah. How a touch, proprioception, and vibration sensation primarily transmitted in spinal cord through slow fibers in lateral corticospinal tract through superficial means something that is over it, fibers in the spinal thalamic tract through fast receptors in dorsal column luminescence system through the vestibulospinal tract.
Sir, it is very fast. I understand. So must be C.
Must be C. Yes. So should we lock it?
Because he
Yes.
said that
Yeah.
correct. He said that
Mm.
slow is only pain. All other sensation is fast.
Yes.
His lecture, I got that point.
Yes.
So compare with this one, fast is only in C, fast
Mm.
receptors.
Mm. So let's move to the next question. Which pathway carries pain and temperature sensation across the spinal cord to the brain?
Corticospinal.
Corticospinal. It's the
Oh.
spinal thalamic tract
Sir,
that carries pain.
actually, all sensation is cortex, no, sir?
Yeah,
Top
this
brain.
yeah.
But
Cor- It is
oh,
asking
this
about
is
the
a relay
pathway.
station,
Yeah,
spinothalamic tract.
yeah. It is
Okay,
asking
from
about
okay.
the
Yeah.
pathway. Spinothalamic tract.
So first
Okay.
it will go to thalamus. From thalamus only
Yeah,
cortex.
it will from a spine to thalamic part, and
All
then
spinal information will relayed here,
yes,
spinothalamus.
this is pain and temperature, not all
Pain and temperature.
pain and temperature. Like this is the slow part.
Slow, okay, slow.
Yeah,
Other one will go directly.
that. Yeah. So, what is the function of the vestibulospinal tract? Balance
This
and
I know.
coordination. Okay.
Balance and coordination.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
only thing I understood.
Okay. So it's the balance and
Balance
coordination.
and coordination.
Okay. Which tract is traditionally associated with maintaining conscience? Corticospinal, spinocerebral, retic- reticospinal, or vestibulospinal?
That is, I remember. It is a reticulospinal tract. He was saying.
So it's the reticospinal, located in the brainstem reticular formation, and it's associated with maintaining conscience and modulating various physiological processes like breathing, other processes, right? What is anatomical fidelity? How is anatomical fidelity maintained through a spinal cord? So it's by mixing the sensory and motor pathways through different pathway for distinct functions like sensory and motor, or by relaying sensory information at multiple stations, like relaying throughout and then processing, or through the random
These are
organization of fiber tract through
through
designated
designated pathways with distinct functions.
distinct
B, I
functions.
think.
Yes. So, like sensory and motor information are relayed accurately without mixing. No random organization is there. Like it will go to the specified place. Like it will not relate to the body that respond and hand will respond or a muscle will respond. It have to be specific to which hand, which part of the hand, like the motor as well as sensory, like which part has to respond. That is very much defined. What is the role of cerebellum in sensory integration? It processes visual information, it controls motor movements, it compares input and output signal for balance and coordination, it modulates consonance level. Which one?
Cerebellum.
Yeah.
In all sensory integration, correct. I think then visual information, sir, or C. A or C.
Come up with a fixed one. Should we go with A
Yeah,
or with C?
uh, I think we'll go with A, processing information, or C, sir, C. I'm
C.
not getting 50-50. Or
It's the
uh,
C. It compares
C.
input and output signals for balance and coordination.
But processing word also is there in this, so that's why I got confusion.
Yeah, this is about integration. How this these are integrated, like brought at one place. So that's all for the previous lecture, right? Now in this lecture, uh, like you said that we will discussing some uh, like summary of all the topics
Yes, sir. Yes,
covered.
sir.
So
Especially that brain simulation.
yes, so I have made a small summary, not a detailed one. Okay, so that we will first discuss that. So this is for the previous one. Uh, mm, load. I think it's not loaded here. So let's start with our week 6. Okay. So first let's discuss the reflexes. Like there are two topics that has been covered in this week. First is reflexes. So reflect what are like let's first discuss what are reflexes. Okay. So reflex are specific response triggered by specific stimuli. Like at the beginning of the lecture itself, we were saying that when someone is hitting here, small movement of the hand occurs like this. So specific stimuli that if it is hit from some this side, the stimuli will be different. So it is part of the motor control in the body where some specific responses are triggered by specific stimuli. Like with heat, it will be different. With knock, it will be different. Okay, they involve a sensory component such as uh, muscle spindle. Like we saw that the muscle spindles were there and they were being contracted and relaxed. Okay, its sudden increase in muscle length because hitting this was actually forcing the muscle to increase, which in turn activates initiates a reflex arc. A reflex arc means from here the information will go and spinal cord itself will give a command and this will contract. So a sudden jerk or movement. So and we also saw that there are monosynaptic reflex arc as well as polysynaptic reflex arc. In a monosynaptic reflex arc, sensory input directly simulates alpha motor neurons, leading to muscle contraction. Muscle tone refers to the base level of the muscle activation during rest. Okay, uh, this I think we can skip. Yeah, this is not directly relevant. Okay. So this muscle state is regulated by the interplay between muscle spindle and Golgi tendon activity. The loop involves muscle spindle and Golgi tendon activity, which is uh, done for the fine tuning of the muscle tone. Okay, this reflex also serves as a tool for assessing neurological status. Like doctors test this, doctors, physicians, they test it to check whether our neurons are properly working in that part of the body or not. Change in reflex response and muscle tone can indicate some neurological issue. Like if it is giving too much of response, that's also a problem, and not giving a response, that also a problem. These actually studying these reflexes also help me in identifying abnormality and guiding clinical intervention. They play a fundamental role in understanding motor control and neurological assessment. It's important for us, like since this is neuroscience for engineers, we can say that it is important for us to understand the complexity of neural control as well as understanding this will give us opportunity for making such equipments or tools that we can use to identify and diagnose such neurological issues, abnormality or issues. Okay, so uh, as I said, there are two type of reflexes we studied. First one was monosynaptic reflex. So it involves a single synapse between the sensory neuron and motor neuron in the spinal cord. Sensory neuron detects a stimulus and sends a axon potential. Like we know, all the transmission occurs through a axon potential along its axon. This axon potential reaches the spinal cord and synapse directly with a motor neuron. So, like this is a muscle. Uh, this is the muscle, and this is the axon of a sensory neuron. And just cell body. This cell body is present inside the spinal cord, and it directly is interfaced with a uh, motor neuron. Okay, so directly, no other thing is required. So axon potential is generated, and it is transferred through it, and motor neuron sends an axon potential to the effector muscle, so it will send a signal to the effector muscle, causing a rapid response without involvement of any other neuron, like one neuron to another neuron, direct. Okay, like knee jerk reflex, which is generally used in
Sir,
hospital.
this one will
Uh,
fit in that spinal cord, or where
this
this
is
junction?
this part, like if we say this cell body of this neuron. is inside the spinal cord. Okay,
Okay.
these axons, they like from the spinal cord, there are long axons that are coming to different parts of our body, connecting to our muscles, and other parts. Okay, so both, like we said that it separates the pathway, sensory and the motor, both are separate. Okay, so this is the sensory neuron, this is the motor neuron. So directly this sensory neuron and motor neuron. So we can say that it's a very fast process, though it is separated, but it is not going through any other neuron, any other processing. Like there is no thinking, nothing. Like there is no processing occurring. Directly, it is a response that directly goes. No understanding, no processing. Okay. The second one is it's rep. This is a very rapid response due to minimal synaptic delay. Like this is not involving too many steps, only one single, uh, like two single not single, two neurons are directly involved, and so minimal delay. Like one is sensory directly, other is motor. Okay, simple and stereotype movements means these movements are fixed. They are understood. Like even if you know that this happens every time, like consciously also, uh, even if you know that this happens, it will happen. Even if you like it is fixed, a fixed type of moments for every person. Such moments is fixed. Okay, and limited processing within the spinal cord. The other one is polysynaptic response, which involves multiple synapses and interneurons between sensory neuron and the motor neuron. The same process, but in between here, like suppose this is our target muscle or something, some stimulus comes. So here also single, there will be a sensory neuron, and at the end, the command will again come from a mm, motor neuron, but in between, some other steps will be there. Maybe two, three other neurons, four neurons, like that. Getting it? So
Yes, sir. This Golgi something is there, man.
yeah, Golgi
Golgi
tendon
tendon.
and this. Yes.
That will be inside. First one
Yeah.
it is not there.
Yeah.
First one not there, no
No,
single
no,
synapse.
it is directly there. But here, in this case, there will be other
Man,
parts.
okay.
Yeah. So sensory neuron detects a stimulus and activates interneurons in the spinal cord. So these neurons, other neurons will be activated. Like it will relay the information to some other. Here, this interneuron integration and processes the information before activating neuron. So here's a decision making occurs. Okay, here it is like some understanding and decision will be done. In this case, it is direct, minimal decision. It is fixed. It will happen whatever you do. Okay, so interneuron integrates and once it processes this, then sends the axon potential to then it sends the axon potential to motor neuron, and motor neuron sends the axon potential to effector muscle. Like the when the skin is touched with a uh, some like you say pin kind of structure and something. Okay, so then you try to withdraw, like someone is trying to hit you, like you are just shaking your head every time someone is trying to hit you, you are moving your head. So here a small processing is being done. Okay, compared to where like someone is hitting and like this when some see uh, is my hand visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, like whatever I do, whenever I like, if I hit it, it will respond. Like such a moment occurs every time, whatever I do. Like this is nature. Okay. Here no processing is occurring. I am not thinking I have to move, withdraw or anything. Okay. But it will occur. Whereas when someone is uh, bringing a pin or some kind of structure, so a small understanding like it is a danger. Like you will try to withdraw your hand like that. That comes under polysynaptic. Some processing occurs. Okay. It is a more complex and adaptable response. Like you can think and you can stop. No, even if someone hits, I will try to control it because some decision making is there. Okay. Since it involves a bit of interneural neurons, okay, it has a longer response time compared to monosynaptic response. Fine. So this is a brief about our reflexes. Fine. Till here it was fine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
Okay.
till now I got it, sir. Brain simulation, I'm not.
Okay. So it's not simulation, it is stimulation. So
Okay.
yeah, hearing the term, it looks very similar to simulation, which most of the engineers are quite familiar with. But here, it's not simulating something, not replicating something. Instead of that, if we put it very simply, like suppose we have said that all these structures, like everywhere, there is something called as action potential. Some action potential, that means some change in ionic gradient, right? This is something we are discussing from the first class itself, right? And this change in ionic gradient is actually proportional to voltage or vo- voltage change, which actually leads to a ionic current, right? Till here it is clear. This process is
Yes,
clear.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Now,
So now we do reverse, sir. We give current and then.
yes, we are doing the opposite. Like we are giving a stimulus. Like as discussed there also, suppose that some let's say that some part of the body is not responding or responding too much, like shaking and all. Okay, hand is shaking without any cause. It's creating seizure kind of
Sir,
movement.
in a heart,
Huh.
there will be put some pacemaker, no? Same thing.
Yeah, something similar to that. But in case of heart, uh, there is a fixed kind of electrical pulse that we know that this should keep going on throughout. Right? There is no condition there. The heart has to beat whatever happens, right? Like it has to continue. Uh, you cannot say that today my heart will beat at a different speed and tomorrow different, right? But in case of brain, what I understand is that it's a quite complex and not yet a fully understood part. Even medical science have some limitations, like how it is working, why it is behaving like this, why behaving like that. That's not uh, still fully understood. So, like suppose uh, here we have to give the stimulus conditionally, maybe, like when the patient is behaving like that, when the patient is having some tremors, having some us unusual sensation or unusual motor movement. And if that person is having actually a lot of motor movements and that has to be controlled, certainly it will then be uh, continuous. But it will be very much subjective, not always. Like in case of pacemaker, it is a fixed kind of signal. This signal we have to give and we give. It is very much a fixed, like not too much of feedback is needed there. In this case, a lot of feedback and these things will be needed. Okay, so it is a way of controlling abnormality in specific brain regions using electrical signals. So now we have understood the biological, we have understood the structure of brain, how it works. Now understanding that, we are trying to manipulate it, change it for treating some neurological disorders like Parkinson disease, essential tumors, dystonia, epilepsy, these things. Okay, so what is being done is that a specific part, we have studied, like we had discussed this a lot of time now, no? That this part of the brain does this part of the brain does that, right? We have done, we have studied all part of it. Now we know that these things, we know that, okay, if someone is having difficulty in breathing uselessly, so what part must be the problem, what part of the brain must be being affected? We already know that if someone is having tremors in, say, like he's not able to see things for some time, or his visual impairment occurs for some time, and he is like he is feeling convolution and these things. In that case, where to focus, like which part to focus, what can be the problem that we have learned till now, right? So we know that this part will respond to that. Now we are learning about a process where we are changing this, like at those specific point we are putting some external current and voltages. Okay, deep brain simulation, that means putting an electrode deep inside the brain and delivering electrical signals, that is a common technique. Okay, it involves plant implanting a pulse generator connected to electrodes in the brain. So pulse generator can be outside also, mostly outside, like since we studied that putting any foreign object in body anywhere is a very challenging task, as well as a very dangerous task. So and in the brain itself it is even more challenging. Okay, so mostly the electrodes will be put there. Okay, and a pulse generator, just like you said of our pulse maker. Pulse means an electrical signal where we are giving some pulse at the required time. It in this case it will not be so uniform pulse. Okay, and here we are talking about something like positive, negative. Okay, it will depend on our user. Okay, so these electrical signals are generated by the pulse generator, and they change the neuronal activity. Biphasic pulse are generated. Biphasic means this one what I am talking about, positive, negative, such. So average voltage or average amplitude will ideally be zero. So we are just stimulating. We are not giving some average, like we are not increasing or something. We are just trying to simulate it, positive, negative, like that, so that we maintain the charge balance, as well as if there is a voltage, like external current or voltage is going inside, net voltage, that may damage our tissue. So to prevent this, we are using a positive negative pulse. So the average uh, RMS value or average value will remain zero in this case. Fine till here?
Sir, anything?
Yeah, fine till here. Like, are you,
Sir, yes,
are you
sir, yes, sir.
getting? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now,
Sir, one question. So
yes, please.
always we have to give to brain this negative and positive to some
Yes,
should be zero. Okay.
yes.
Otherwise
Some should be
charge
zero.
will be there.
Yes, such kind of signals, like I just showed, but this we cannot give. This is a pulse we understand, but the total charge
Just
should be zero.
biphasic pulse, biphasic pulse.
Yeah, biphasic pulse, like plus and minus, like when we talk about sine wave, we can say, right? Sine wave is a biphasic pulse only. Oh, sorry, right? That the net, the sum, in our first year,
But it's
maybe
net will be zero.
yeah,
Okay.
first year BTech, I think we studied that the net always remains zero and all. And like if we have to change that value, then how we give some that clamping and these things. But here we want it to be zero. Then comes the second very important part, that is the electrode itself and the substrate material. So whatever we are putting inside the brain of a human being, rat, or any animal, the body is so designed that it will, whenever it finds any foreign object like virus, bacteria, anything that comes from outside except food, and that also it has a different pathway. If it enters the body where nothing is to be expected by the body, it will try to fight, immune response and all. Okay, so while choosing this electrode and substrate material, it should be so chosen that there is minimal foreign body response, that these white blood cells and this WBC and T cell, these things don't attack it that much. They will certainly attack it, and in response, they will create fever and this thing. This is the body's response to foreign body. So instead of helping, it might create problems. So we have to make it minimal foreign body response. It should be biocompatible. That means it, when kept inside the body, it should not be such a thing that it eats away tissues and all. It should be very fine with the biological system it is being put in. And there should be no chemical byproduct that will also harm. Okay. So the preference is soft implant, soft flexible implant to reduce immune response and tissue damage. And that also soft implant means that can uh, contain organic implants, organic parts that will not be uh, bioincompatible. Such properties like young modulus and electrical properties, these are also important. And so brain stimulation offers a very promising solution for neurological disorders. But a lot of work has yet to be done in this field. And that is the reason of such studies and like being studied and all. Okay. So what are the electrical properties in brain simulation? Three key important properties include reverse charge injection capacity and the impedance. The reverse charge injection capacity influences charge transfer during simulation. So, and the second thing is lower impedance. The lower the impedance, better will be the transfer. Okay, so that,
Sir, I'm not from the electrical background.
okay,
Can you just explain what is this reverse charge injection?
okay. Like I will discuss it later also. Okay, so it is the if we are giving some charge, okay, uh, we are transferring some charge here,
Some positive charge here,
some positive
like a
charge and all.
capacitor.
Yeah, capacitive and right. Then there should be no like when we are given, there should be no back current, you can say in simple terms. Like sometimes you might have seen that have you seen some
Back
motor or
EMF.
yeah, back EMF kind of thing, right? So such a thing, and when you are talking about a very small electrode, that will be damaged very easily by such things. Okay, so reverse injection of charge should not happen. So there should be a very good, it should be very good capacitive. A capacitance is used to stop this. Like it will just store there and stop. The second one is lower impedance. Lower impedance means uh, providing minimal resistance. That means if a charge is going, it should not obstruct it. Obstructing it will decrease its value, amplitude, and this thing. So to get a very high quality signal, we want whatever signal we wanted, it should reach there. Okay, so lower impedance, impedance of not only the circuit but the tissue, circuit and tissue, electrode and the tissue itself. Wherever it is, it should get the lowest impedance. So whatever signal we are trying to put in, that will go normally. If it is having a very high impedance, that means like simply speaking, if we have a direct flow of charge, that will be better. If it is being obstructed or a dam kind of structure is created in a river, that will be a difficult like the water will not flow properly. So it is something like that. Having free flow of the signal will is desired. Then electrochemical reactions, since it's we have seen that the whole body is actually whole brain itself is transmitting in forms of chemicals, sodium, potassium, calcium, and these things. So that this these things will react with the electrode tissue interface. There should be reaction, like when we are putting electrons or some positive charge, there should be some reaction, like either these ions will be ionized or they will be neutralized. Such reactions will occur. Okay, then Faradic reactions involving charge transfer is also essential for simulation. So charge is, we are giving the charge, then there should be some elect electrochemical and Faradic, like they are similar, we can say. So there will be some reaction and then there will be movement of the charge also. Then the other is capacitive reactions. So like let's not go very deep into it. Like there are electrochemical, Faradic, capacitive. These kind of reactions will occur there. Then two very important thing is that it should have like charge impacts injection capacity, charge injection capacity, and lower impedance. Lower the impedance, better it is. Okay. Microfabrication techniques are used to create this miniaturized device for rat model, and even for humans, like smaller the implant, better it will be, like less destructive it will be. Then polyamide, like flexible material, are offering some advantage in device fabrication. Like if we are putting most of time when we are talking about this microfabrication techniques, we are talking about silicon based chip and these things, but they may not be biocompatible. And for this reason, flexible substrate like polyamide, they they are offering some advantage in device fabrication. But the problem, the challenge here is that this flexible substrate have to be like they are not that the technology is not yet like silicon and this microfabrication. Okay, as well as there are still immune responses to rigid substrate as well as flexible, but that will be a bit less. Okay, so now the area of research in this field is increasing the biocompatibility and improving this stimulation technique. Okay, so that's all for a summary. Okay, fine till here. Any doubts, anything that you are not able to understand?
Last part I couldn't understand,
Which
sir.
part?
This
This
is
one?
yes. Micro fabrication techniques are used to create
Okay, okay.
rat model means what, sir?
Rat models, because we cannot directly test these. If we are creating some devices to stimulate in the brain, we cannot directly test on humans. Okay, there is a process of testing these devices. So the first and very simplest model is to test it on a rat, and that also the rat itself, the like when we are rat, I'm not able to do rat. Oh, anyway. So rat itself is quite small. Let's assume this is rat, and it's if we are testing on its brain, it is too small, right? So for that we need a very small uh, such brain stimulation techniques. It is tested over them. Once successful, then it is done on human-like primates like a monkey and these things. Okay, monkey, pigs also are quite related to humans, I think. And then it is tested on humans. Okay, so whenever we are talking about this, we are saying that we will first make a rat model, like which will be tested on rat, and then microfabrication technique is the you can say the chip manufact uh, chip manufacturing, what is being used at present, like creating sensors, creating chip, all these semiconductor chip like processors, mobile phone chip and all, they are being manufactured using microfabrication technique that involves lithography and all these things. Okay, yeah. Fine now.
Sir, okay, fine, sir. I'm
Yeah,
just asking from curiosity.
yeah.
This strokes patients can do any this type of thing?
Stroke is related to heart, right?
No, no, brain stroke means.
Okay, brain
Now
stroke is
what happened means that my brother only cannot speak because
yeah.
of that.
Yeah, such
Any
things are being tested and tried, but I think it is not uh, like you will have to find out if in this field some technique has developed to that level that it is being used on humans or not. Okay, uh, certainly work is like whenever we are putting this, we are talking about research, right? This field
till
is
now only Parkinson disease only we tried, sir. Any other
yes.
any other?
Like what I got is that Parkinson and these diseases have been tried a bit, and a lot of research is going on, but not like the research has to get matured enough to be tested on humans. What if it creates some other problems? Like human lives are important, right? And that will like we cannot test some medicine on anyone. Just like that, these devices have also you must have heard about medical ethics and like it has to go through whatever you are testing. It has to go through ethical committee and these things. There are proper protocols to do that. You cannot directly test on humans. It's illegal as well as like it's a criminal offense, right? Doing directly on humans. So it takes time for such things. You will have to search a bit, like if this has been successfully tested somewhere or not for like what stroke specifically what you are asking, that you will have to search. So can we move forward to the questions now? I'm audible.
Ah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, let's go to problem one. What is a reflex in medical terms? A voluntary response to a specific stimulus, an involuntary response to any stimulus, a specific response to a specific stimulus, a random response to a specific stimulus.
A, sir. A voluntary response to specific stimulus.
Okay, how voluntary?
Uh, Oh,
Voluntary
voluntary
means
means okay, with our involvement of brain.
yes,
Okay,
with our
okay.
will.
Then specific response to specific stimulus. C.
Yes, that was the definition of the reflex, right? That uh, it is specific. Like I was saying, it is a fixed response to a fixed stimulus. Whenever there is a heat, like whenever you are touched with a like hot thing, you will respond the same. You will move your hand back. Okay, so it is specific response to specific stimuli, which is distinguished from random and generalized responses. Like no brain is involved. That is, we can say that it is the property of our body to respond like that. Okay. What is the term used to describe reflexes that involve a single synapse? It's polysynaptic, biphagic, multisynaptic, or monosynaptic.
Monosynaptic reflex. Huh?
Monosynaptic. Right. Now I think we just discussed and then we are discussing questions. Then it makes it easier, right?
Easy, easy. Yeah.
Yeah. So they involve single synapse between sensory and motor neuron, making them very rapid and straightforward. Okay. What triggers the activation of muscle spindles in a reflex arc? Decrease in muscle length, increase in muscle length, contraction of adjacent muscle, relaxation of adjacent muscle.
Increasing the muscle length, then only it will trigger one thing.
Yeah.
That will again reduce this one. Okay.
Yes. So, like the triggering, the response is to reduce it, right?
Sir, sir.
So, whenever there is sudden stretch or tap, it will increase the muscle length. Like it is increasing the muscle length, like we are tapping it or something. So, whenever there is an increase, in response to it, a reflex occurs that tries to bring it to the norm, like bring it back to what it should be. Okay. What is the function of a muscle spindle in a reflex arc? To contract the muscle, to relax the muscle, to detect change in muscle length, to transmit pain signal.
To detect change in muscle length.
It's to detect the change in muscle length. It acts as a sensory receptor. Okay. And this transmits the information to the CNS, that is the central nervous system. Now, in a monosynaptic reflex arc, what is the role of alpha motor neuron? It activates the muscle spindle, it inhibits muscle contraction, it receives sensory input from the muscle spindle, it directly stimulates muscle contraction.
It receives sensory input from the muscle spindle. Alpha and gamma is there.
Yeah,
Alpha.
we are talking about monosynaptic. Only one motor neuron is involved. It, it directly simulates the muscle contraction.
Yes. Okay. Okay, sir.
And muscle spindle is not a neuron. Okay, so the contract, like expansion and contraction, will generate a response that will go through the sensory neuron. Okay, so that is why uh, this way is written. It receives sensory input from the sensory neuron. That in turn is being activated by the muscle spindle. Yes, you are saying something?
Sir. Okay, sir. Uh, can I get take one 5 minutes break, sir? I just go and come.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
sleep.
sure. So, okay, fine.
Sir, this I couldn't understand, sir. Monosynaptic reflex arc.
Yeah, so
Alpha motor neuron is there. That is
there is
actually
only
contracting the
one.
uh,
Yeah, there is only one
contracting
motor
the
neuron.
muscle. Na? It will
Yeah,
contract the muscle. So
yeah.
it will get the things from the our spindle thing.
Spindle will
Sensory,
give
sensory neuron.
sensory neuron. Yeah, that is what I'm
Yes,
saying.
sir.
That it will not get from muscle spindle. That is why option C is wrong.
Oh, okay.
Like muscle spindle activates it, but it is not giving the information directly. It is giving the information through the sensory neuron.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. How is muscle tone regulated in reflex arc involving Golgi tendon activity?
Golgi tendon activity decreases the sensory input. Controls, basically.
So, which option? Option D, right?
Uh, Option B, decrease. Okay.
Decrease. Yeah, it decreases the muscle contraction.
All right.
Yeah. What is the primary purpose of reflexes, as discussed in the lecture? To assess muscle strength, to evaluate sensory perception, to check the integrity of the neural system, to monitor cardiovascular health.
To evaluate sensory perception.
We can use it to evaluate, but as well as we have to understand that whether sometimes there will be reflexes, but those reflexes are wrong. Like say, instead of just reacting this much, it is reacting too much. You are hitting this one and it is reacting too much. Okay. Still, it is sensory in nature. Okay. But
Sir, answer is B or C? C
C,
only?
C, yeah. If it is to
Okay,
check the
okay,
integrity of the whole neural system. Okay.
okay, okay.
Helping physician distinguish between upper motor neuron and lower motor neuron disease. Okay. Upper motor neuron means like where it is responding too much, or lower motor like it is responding less. Okay. What type of disease does an exaggerated stretch reflex indicate? Okay. Like from what it should have been, it is stretched too much. Like it will respond as it is stretched too much. It is upper motor neuron disease, or lower motor neuron disease, or peripheral nerve disease, or sensory neuron disease.
Structure
Any answer?
reflex. Structure reflex means maybe A or B, sir?
A or B both are exactly opposite of each other. So which one should we go with?
Join, there will be new upper and lower thing, no, sir?
Hmm.
Is that only you saying, or upper motor and
No,
lower?
it is like just in the previous one. See, I discussed this one. That upper motor neuron disease means it is something that is responding too much. The reflex, what should have been there, it is giving a reflex higher than the one that should have been, right? And lower motor neuron disease means it is giving a lower response. Like it should
Below
rise
normal,
below, yeah, below normal. And upper motor neuron means
above
above
normal.
normal. Yes.
Okay, now I got it.
Yeah. So which one in this case?
Next question, na? That is next question.
Yeah.
exaggerated, no? So upper
Exactly.
UMN, an exaggerated structure,
Yes. So it is
UMN.
up.
Mm.
It's
Upper
in the
model.
name itself.
Yes, yes.
So let's go to the next question. What is the term for a reflex arc with only one synapse?
Monosynaptic, sir. That is
Monosynaptic.
uh,
A monosynaptic reflex is something that involves single synapse between sensory and motor nerves. Synapse means single node or single connection, we can say, right?
mono means single, sir. Stereo means the two speaker. Mono.
Yeah, stereo. Stereo is two. Yeah, dual stereo
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
Stereo
yes.
is more referred to
When
when
I
it
was in
is.
school, it was there. That time mono was there. Then one tape recorder come from Gulf. That is
Acha,
stereo. Then people told till now we are using mono. Small
okay.
radios all are mono.
Yeah,
Mono
like
means one.
yeah. When I started, I heard stereo, and then some later on we heard something like Dolby 5.1, 7.1, and this thing like surround system and
System
all.
and
Yeah, but still it is stereo only.
but
Like we are using the
we are lived in mono age, sir. You are
okay,
in lived in
like
stereo.
at that time it was fully mono. Yeah. So, what is responsible for regulating muscle tone? Golgi tendon organs, sensory neurons, muscle spindles, gamma motor neurons.
Muscle tones are Golgi tendon.
Golgi tendon organs. Or it is
Eh?
regulating muscle tone,
Oh, together uh, regulate regulating. Oh, okay.
regulating muscle tone. It is
But
gamma motor neuron.
uh,
Golgi tendon
so
is the pathway.
that one, for that only regulating only that pathway is there, no, sir. Otherwise,
Yeah,
what for?
it's yeah. It's talking about
Okay,
the
okay, 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 sir.
gamma motor neuron. That is alpha is the first. In case this is we are talking about polysynaptic. Okay, so the last one like controlling the muscle tone. So the last one will be gamma in this case, gamma motor neuron, which will give the command. Okay, which type of contraction involves a constant muscle length? Isometric, isotonic, eccentric, concentric.
This is isometric contraction because it is just turning, no change in the
Yeah.
length.
So occurs when the muscle length remain constant while the tension increases. Length is same, but there is a force. What effect does a disease in the corticospinal tract have on the stretch reflex? So if there is a disease in the corticospinal tract, it will decrease the stretch reflex, exaggerate or increase the reflex, or remove the stretch reflex itself, or it will just alter the muscle tone.
Must be muscle tone, I think.
Yeah. It increases the stretch reflex because corticospinal tract is responsible for which part? It takes the
Motor,
motor. Yeah, it takes the signal from here to like it connects the
motor.
higher brain centers like cerebellum and cerebellum to spinal cord. And if that is being affected, loss of there will be loss of control. So it will increase,
Exaggeration.
exaggerate the stretch reflex. It will give
Okay. Okay.
higher. What is the primary reason for using deep brain simulation? It is to stimulate, not simulation, sorry. What is
One
the
request,
primary role
sir.
for using deep brain
Sir,
stimulation?
sir, one request, sir. This
Yeah,
deep brain simulation I didn't complete, sir.
yeah.
Up to this
Uh,
only I reached. So can we discuss in next class? Is possible. Only
let's
we two are
complete
there.
it. Two, three questions are there, and
Only three
since
questions.
Yeah, and
Then
since
we
we
will
have,
take it next class, right?
yeah,
I will
we
go
will
through it.
repeat it, not an issue. But
Okay.
let's discuss because we have discussed this in a brief today,
Summary
right?
we discussed. Okay.
Yeah,
So some
related to that.
summary means some answer only I can tell.
Yeah, sure, not an answer, not a issue. Okay, so what is the primary reason for using deep brain stimulation? It is to stimulate superficial brain structure, like some upper brain structure, to avoid the immune response triggered by electrode insertion, to target deeper structure within the brain, or to enhance cognitive functions.
To enhance cognitive functions, sir.
Uh, so,
Or
like, this is something that may come like maybe after we are successful in all
future.
this big
Okay.
future,
So
because
now it is only repairing thing, no sir.
yeah, now we are trying to like correct things that go wrong, like having some electrodes and then making someone super intelligent. Yeah,
Superior.
that is something, yeah, that can be part of a sci-fi movie, but not
But
at
so you will
present.
say that AI to stimulate superficial brain structure.
Yeah, that is something that might come in future once we are able to do these parts, what we are doing at present. So we can say it is to target deeper. When we are talking about deep brain
Targeted.
stimulation, yeah, to target deeper structures within the brain. To
Okay.
that is why the name itself. Okay. Which of the following property is crucial for stimulating electrodes? Like we discussed, is it high impedance, low charge injection capacity, high charge retention, or
This
low
I got,
impedance?
sir. Low impedance,
Low
low
impedance.
resistance.
Yeah, because so that the signal will be
Yes.
transmitted
Very fast.
with, uh, not fast. We can say
Without any
very
disturbance.
without any change. Whatever we want,
Any
we will
change.
transmit that. Yeah.
Okay.
What is the preferred source of excitation for stimulating electrode? It should be constant voltage, alternating current, pulsed current, or constant current.
Pulsed current. Pulsed bifacial.
Yeah,
Biphase.
by phase. That is a different thing. Here it's not talking about phase. It is talking about voltage or current.
Then alternating currents.
It is
Pulsed current or alternating current or
it
both.
is constant current. The current, like the we are talking about charge, and charge means the total charge or the electron will have to be same. Charge per unit time. We are injecting some charges because they maintain a consistent flow regardless of change in impedance. Okay, voltage might change, like the pulse height can sometimes go like this and this. Oh, sorry, not different, same. Okay, and sometime it can be like this, but the current will remain same because we want that the full signal is to be transmitted. So if there is a change in resistance or the impedance, we will change the voltage so that the current remains same. The total charge that we want to replicate there remains the same. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which electrochemical reactions occur at the electrode tissue interface during stimulation? Capacitive reaction, Faradic reaction, ionic reaction, metallic reaction.
Faraday reaction.
Faradic reaction, because involves a exchange of electron between the electron and the electrolyte, like we see in case of electrochemical cell and
Yeah.
this. Yeah,
Electrochemical series we studied in school, na?
yeah, that
So
part, it is the same.
potassium, calcium, something is
Yeah,
something.
that ions were moving and
Yeah, yeah,
very
yeah.
similar to that. Yeah, in inside also we have ions and this, and we are putting electrode. This will lead to transfer of charge necessary for stimulating at the electrode tissue interface. Which material is commonly used as a flexible substrate for brain stimulation devices? Silicon, gold, platinum, polyamide.
In your thing, I have seen polyamide. Your
Polyamide,
summary.
yeah. Because it is talking about flexible substrate. If it was talking about electrodes, okay, substrate should be biocompatible as well. electrodes should be inert, as well as they should be able to like they should not
Platinum. So we'll
yeah
use platinum, sir.
yeah, electrodes. Platinum is one of preferred electrodes. Some other electrodes, silver is also used. Silver. Recently, we were doing some project like a project under ourselves, like where we were coating this steel. Steel is being used in fractured bones and all. Instead, so we were coating it with silver so that it is less like it is less affected by our immune system. Some I think some research is going on this EMS Jodhpur. So they were trying this.
Okay.
So yeah, so some such things are used. Platinum, gold is not preferred. What I remember, gold is something that causes problem. Like,
Maybe ladies may like that, sir, gold. So for
but
them
the
we can use.
body of ladies and like male and female, like that will have same immune response, right? So and certainly we will not like if silver works, why will someone put money for a gold kind of thing?
Okay.
Like that will be costlier. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So for this one, it's polymer. This is the substrate, not the electrode. Okay. So that's all till here. Any questions? So putting summary is fine for you. Like such
Sir, it is
summaries.
very good, sir, because
Okay.
I know we could able to answer almost all questions.
Yes.
So no need to go through the lectures. Only your
Next.
summary is enough.
No, no. You should go through the lectures. Like they have a lot of
Yes,
material,
sir.
much more than what
Yeah, yeah.
I am also learning from there only and
Yes,
like
sir. I am
putting.
taking few more courses, sir. I know office
Okay.
hours also very tight. That's why I couldn't complete. Okay, sir. I will
Okay.
try. Next week I
Yeah.
must complete that
These are
session.
self-paced. You can say like whenever you feel time,
Okay.
you know. Yeah. So
Okay, sir.
that's all
Thank
for
you.
today.
Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.